Hey guys, this is Chef Chris, and today we are making cranberry, pecan, and mushroom cornbread stuffing. That's right, cornbread stuffing. I love it. Definitely a little different than your traditional white bread stuffing. And I know, guys, it's after Thanksgiving. I'm so sorry, but hey, Christmas is coming up, and if you ever make cornbread and you have leftovers, don't throw it away. I'm gonna show you guys a way to use it. All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna start by preheating our oven to 350 degrees. Go ahead and let that get warm. While it's warming up, we are going to have our cornbread that we made a day before. We loved it, we enjoyed it, but hey, it's never the same the next day. I didn't want to throw it away, so what better way to reuse it than in a stuffing? Alright, so we're going to break this down, guys. We don't want the pieces to be too fine. We're not trying to get some breadcrumbs, little tiny pieces. We want about medium pieces here. So go ahead and break it down, but not too much. Right around here was perfect. Alright, so in a bowl, we measured out 2.5 cups of cornbread. Now, I'm making a smaller version just for the three of us. Down below, I'll have the measurements and ingredients for a nice full course meal, okay? Alright, so we got some pecans here that we decided, I was like, hey, why not toast these? So we're going to lay them out just on a baking sheet with a nice silicone mat, and we're going to toss that into that oven. Now, we only want to toast these for about 5 minutes, so we're going to set the timer. You don't want to go too much longer. 6 minutes is totally fine, but keep an eye on them. They definitely toast up pretty fast. Alright, so we've got our vegetables here that we need for our stuffing. Got a nice garlic that we're chopping up, some beautiful mushrooms. I'm using just regular button. You can use some portobello, some shiitakes, whatever you like. We've got 2 celery sticks that we're chopping up as well. A nice apple that we're going to give a good dice to. You don't want the pieces to be too big here, guys, because the cornbread is pretty small. Also, you didn't see in the picture, but we're using a pear. Yeah, a pear, why not? Give it a nice, different from the apple, nice apple and pear. We also have some great cranberries, guys, that we dehydrated in the dehydrator. I sweetened them a little bit. If you don't have a dehydrator, no problem. You can find them in the store. They're right next to the raisins. All right, so in a saute pan, we have got them heat here on about medium heat. You don't want it too high. We're not trying to caramelize all the onions and everything like that. We're just trying to sweat them out, get them nice and translucent. So we've got 3 tablespoons of butter here. We're going to throw in those onions, those mushrooms, and the gorgeous, bright, I love the color of these celeries. Look at that picture. I love it. So we're going to give this just a nice stir, get that butter nicely coated on everything. Of course, we're going to season everything with some salt and some fresh cracked black pepper. And we're going to saute these, give them a nice stir. Now, the total time is going to be about 15 minutes. We're going to saute everything. But we didn't add our apples, we didn't add our pears or our garlic yet. They are too soft. So we're going to saute these for about 6 minutes. Once everything has gotten a little soft, just about here, that's when we're going to throw in our apples, our pears, and the garlic. The garlic, don't throw it in the beginning. You don't want it to burn. The heat might be too high, so be careful. But after we've thrown it in, give it a nice stir, and we're going to saute these for another good 6 more minutes. Now, you know I love heat. I didn't want to throw some cayenne in here and mess up the color scheme. So I was like, hey, just throw in some pepper flakes. All right, once everything was done, 15 minutes later, we're going to throw it right into our cornbread that we already broke up. And this is what we're going to add in the rest of our ingredients. So we've got those great cranberries, those toasted pecans. But of course, guys, if you guys want to use almonds, go ahead. Of course, walnuts would be great. We're also going to add a nice pinch of dried rosemary along with some thyme, some dried thyme as well. Fortunately, the garden's dead, so I couldn't use fresh, but dried's fine. We're also going to throw in an egg that we beat up well. That's going to help bind everything together and also give it a nice texture, sort of like a bread pudding texture inside, which I love. Of course, we're going to season everything with a little more salt and some fresh cracked black pepper. Give it a nice stir. Give it a nice stir. And at this point, this is when we're going to add in our chicken stock. Now, depending on you, on how mushy, how dry, how whatever you like it, I like mine to be almost a bread pudding in the center. So I threw in only about a cup in this small version that I'm making. You don't want to throw too much. You don't want it runny. You don't want all that liquid to be pouring out of the bowl. So just keep an eye on it. If you throw too much liquid in there, throw a little more cornbread, no problem. All right, so we're going to throw it in a baking dish, guys. And give it a nice, go ahead and pat it down just a little bit. I'm going to throw that in the oven for 45 minutes, okay? I know it says 150 degrees right there. Never mind that. I took this picture a little bit later. All right, and like I said, some people don't like it to be too mushy. I'm going to show you guys a different version. So in the saute pan, we have got all the vegetables we sauteed. We're going to throw in the cornbread. Say you made this cornbread the same day and it's moist enough and you don't like a nice mushy stuffing. Make this one, guys. Just gonna throw it in a pan. Of course, you can throw all in the exact same rosemary, thyme. You can even throw a little bit of stock in here if it's too dry, and just cook that for about a minute or two, and it's just as good, guys. Well, I'm lying, not just as good. I love this way. A beautiful crisp on top. We've got that gorgeous, nice, mushy. I don't want to say mushy. A nice, almost. What do I call it? A bread pudding inside. It's great, but the other one was just as good. Well, I lied, not just as good. But both ways are great, guys. And that's my cornbread recipe. Any recipes you guys would like to learn how to make, let me know. And as always, I hope you guys enjoy.